29-year-old Kyle Larson at the front of the field. In fact, the top 5 drivers all under the age of 30 years old. Remember a few moments ago we were talking about the veterans running at the front of the field. Not right now. It's Kyle Larson now with 14 to go. Kyle Larson, Eric Jones, William Byron, Ross Chastain, and Justin Haley, a 2-time winner here at Talladega.
He really is. One Cup win came on a super speedway. That was at Daytona, but here at Talladega, he has had a lot of success in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He is one of the best super speedway racers we've seen come into this sport in the last handful of years, getting all of his wins on super speedways. Justin Haley just has that knack of knowing where to put the car and when to put the car in the right positions and avoiding the big problems that we see so many times at these types of races.
Right now he is running 5th. He picked up 2 wins here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series and looking for a big one here this afternoon. How soon might it break out? They're headed back to 1.
Well, it's broken out already because here come Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney. They have paired up in the outside lane. Eric Almirola's coming along for the ride. Kyle Busch joins the pack. Michael McDowell as well. Here comes the high lane.
Kyle Larson is not in the greatest of positions right now because Fury is about to be unleashed at his back bumper. The outside line up to position number 5, led by Chase Elliott.
And they want more as they continue to work through 3 and 4. Chastain is 4th on the bottom, and for now that outside lane progress will stall in 5th with Elliott outside. Justin Haley down on the bottom. He's got help from Hamlin behind him.
Boy, when Elliott darted out, Blaney just started out right with him, and that was a Chevrolet and a Ford working together. And more importantly, that was a couple buddies working together, great friends on the race, off the racetrack and on the racetrack, and they just said, hey, it's time to go, and I can trust you, buddy. And I'll tell you what, when Blaney was chasing Elliott from that bottom groove to the top, I saw Elliott's car get sideways as he's chasing him up the hill.
They continue to work on that outside lane. For the moment, been able to get almost up to the number 3 position as they mix it up again.
Everybody jumping up to the outside. Byron goes, Jones goes, Larson goes, Elliott now stacked up 3 wide on the outside.
And Chastain looked to the bottom there briefly, but now everybody is 2 by 2 all the way through this lead draft. Larson on the bottom. Up top, it's Eric Jones. Behind him, William Byron. Chastain 3rd in line on the bottom.
When they all moved to the top side, with the exception of Kyle Larson, and opened it up on the inside. Thank you very much, says Ross Chastain. He lines up right behind the leader, headed to 1.
The Mellon Man's got the bottom of the racetrack now in row number 2. It's Larson down low, Jones up high, then Ross Chastain on the inside of the second row alongside William Byron.
If you're a fan of Alex Bowman, he just got punted out of the draft. He'll go all the way to the back of the outside line. Up front, here come Larson and company downstairs as they're about to gobble up Christopher Bell.
He is after that pit road spin. He's about to go a lap down. Top 2 in the lead pack have broken out single file. Larson leads over Chastain. Then it's Justin Haley. Eric Jones looked to the bottom for a hole that wasn't there. Nearly collected Hamlin. He'll stay straight and continue on.
They will indeed as Christopher Bell keeps his lap car to the inside lane. That'll break things up a bit at the front. 3 Chevrolets, Larson, Chastain, and Haley up front.
A rare moment of reprieve at the front of the pack for Kyle Larson, but it's not going to last long. Here's Chastain right up on his back bumper. Haley right behind Chastain. High lane trying to regroup with Eric Jones.
The front 3 cars are in single file formation. The stacking up of traffic begins at position number 4. That's where Eric Jones and the outside line have drawn even with Denny Hamlin and his Toyota off the end of the backstretch.
And now Hamlin able to move in front of Eric Jones, so it's single file 1 through 4. Jones is desperately trying to side draft to slow down this inside lane, and it is not working. Outside groove continues to back up at single file 1 through 5 now.
Every time we come to Talladega, we always say the same thing. With 10 to go, baby, you better be up front, and you better be in line if you're going to win this race. Right now, they cross the line. It's 9 to go.
9 laps to go. Kyle Larson, Chastain, Justin Haley, Denny Hamlin, Kurt Busch. Here they come, Dave.
Give a tug on those seatbelts because it's almost time for the pay window to open. Front of the pack, it's Kyle Larson.
Everybody practicing great restraint in that outside line. Eric Jones is leading it. He needs more help to get closer to the front. It's a 5-car breakaway, soon to be a 6-car breakaway down low.
And Jones and William Byron sort of doing a little bit of a tandem draft there. They're separated from Chase Elliott, who's 3rd in line in the outside groove. Byron drops low to side draft a car below him. That's Austin Dillon. Now here comes the outside lane. The Hendrick cars have a little momentum.
They do, with Eric Jones in front of them, and they're going to shove Eric Jones. He'll pull even for 7th with Austin Dillon. Now try to get a fender alongside the left rear, the Toyota of Martin Truex Jr.
Eric Jones, the leader of the band in that outside lane, taking all the push he can get now from William Byron, but he's got some work to do. Still in a side-by-side battle for 6th. Here comes Jones with a big runoff, too.
Here he comes, getting him wound up. Top side, 12 cars on the inside line. Eric Jones does not have that much, but right now they're shoving for all they've got. William Byron just buries the nose of that Chevy in Jones's back bumper.
And they've got Elliott there with them as well. They're up to the 4th spot now. Hamlin on the bottom, Jones up top here, still top 3 single file, but the out lane is moving forward here. They move past Kurt Busch. Now they're at the right elbow of Hamlin in 4th.
And that's Eric Jones. That's William Byron and others. Here they come. They're making their way closer and closer. Here comes Eric Jones. He will go past Justin Haley in 3rd. He's looking for 2nd and 1.
Just getting the back bumper clobbered by William Byron, but it's working. Eric Jones up to a side-by-side battle for 3rd. Haley on the bottom. Jones up high off turn 2.
Kyle Larson and Ross Chastain running 1 and 2, scampered away for that inside line just a tad, but now it accordions closed. Up top, here comes Jones again. William Byron's trying to shove him to the lead.
These two have been the dynamic duo in these closing laps. Byron got to the right rear of Jones, nearly turned him around, had to check up, didn't lose a ton of momentum, but Larson goes back to the front by inches. Jones gathers it back in. Now he's got the push from Byron again. He'll go back to the lead.
6 laps to go at Talladega. Outside lane has the momentum for the moment. Eric Jones by a fender on the outside lane leads. This is lead change number 38 as the field goes to the corner.
Those Highline cars are on the absolute ragged edge of control. Back to the bottom comes Kyle Larson. He'll surge ahead again. By a car length as Jones tries to regroup.
Ross Chastain giving Kyle Larson that shove down low. William Byron giving Eric Jones the shove topside. Byron goes back to work on that back bumper. Eric Jones will go back to the lead in 3.
And Byron, again, a little bit of separation there from Chase Elliott. Gets such a good run, and then they fall back in the center of the corner to catch up to the rest of this outside group. Allows Larson to pull ahead by a car length. They're side by side for 2nd now. Chastain inside, Jones comes back up top.
Boy, heavyweight battle here at the front of the field. You've got Kyle Larson and Chastain working together. On the outside, you've got Eric Jones and William Byron working together. Down to 5 to go at Talladega.
The margin is not more than inches, maybe a couple of feet at a time. Jones had the lead going into 1. Larson back to the bottom in 2. It's Kyle Larson now by a car length.
Seesaw battle for the lead to the back straightaway. Kyle Larson back to the point. Here comes Eric Jones back to the outside. William Byron shoves him back out. Eric Jones sole possession of the lead for about 2 seconds. Here's Larson back to the bottom.
And what will Jones do if he ever gets clear of Larson? Not going to be this lap, and now the top lane is scattered again. They'll fall back again to Chase Elliott. Now Byron's linked up with him. Here comes the outside lane again. Jones has a run. Here comes Byron once more.
Chase Elliott dragged the brake a touch on the 3rd car on the outside lane, tried to get a run on his teammate. It was blocked quickly by Byron. They nearly crashed. Everybody keeps them pointed in the right direction.
The time bomb is ticking, but so far they've been able to avoid the disaster. Here they come into turn number 2. It's Larson by a half a car length. Eric Jones up high. They're dead even to the back straightaway.
Here they come out of 2 to the Alabama Gang super stretch. Outside line now inches out. That's Eric Jones. William Byron up there. But here comes the inside line. Ross Chastain shoving Kyle Larson back to the lead.
Side by side all the way through the top 20 here. They're 3 wide, a little bit further back. Larson's out front now by himself. Chastain barely clear, tried to squeeze up and muscle out of the way of Jones. Didn't happen. Jones stays in the throttle, and here they come back as they hit the tri-oval.
Right now, coming up on 3 laps to go. Right now, you can burn that motor right to the ground. If you want, take that bumper, lay it on the bumper of the guy in front of you. Don't worry about overheating, because it's going to make it three more laps.
3 laps to go. 3 wide, headed to 1.
They are all all shucked out at the front of the pack. Getting shoved is William Byron. He almost gets in Elliott. Elliott goes 3 wide to the outside as Eric Jones is your new leader.
Eric Jones now will take the lead. He'll slide across the nose of Kyle Larson. It is Jones, Larson, Chastain, 1, 2, 3 with Kurt Busch and William Byron rounding out the top 5.
And these guys here from 5th on back have got to get organized. They are not in any sort of organized line at all except for the middle group here, but the numbers are still on the bottom as they single out now 1 through about 7. Jones leads Larson, Chastain, and Kurt Busch as Hamlin heads to pit road.
2 laps to go here at Talladega. Front 9 cars go single file now. Eric Jones, Kyle Larson, Ross Chastain to the corner.
Here they come into turn number 1. Eric Jones for the moment in command, but it's not going to last long. Somebody's going to pull the pin and make a run at him. Jones around the lap machine of David Reagan leads to the backstretch.
And now as the leaders shift to drivers right around the lap traffic, they're splitting the difference to the backstretch. Everybody will ease their way to the double yellow line at the bottom. Front 5, front 6, all in single file formation.
Larson rides in that 2nd spot behind Eric Jones. Ross Chastain is 3rd. It's Chevrolet 1, 2, 3. Then the Toyota of Kurt Busch. Then the Chevrolet of William Byron and the Toyota of Martin Truex Jr. Byron leads them off at turn 4 as they look for the white flag.
Brett Dalton has that white flag in hand. Crowd on their feet. Talladega Super Speedway, 1 to go for Eric Jones. He's out front. Will he lead them all the way back? Kyle Larson right behind. So is Ross Chastain.
Eric Jones trying to take the legendary 43 back to victory lane. Where will the challenge come? Larson is right there. Big shove now from Ross Chastain, but it's Eric Jones off 2 for the final time.
No one stepping out of line here among the leaders. Eric Jones leads the way. Halfway down the back straightaway, half a lap to go. Larson's looking. Jones goes to block. It's all Eric Jones leading back to 3.
They're jammed up nose to tail. Now Kurt Busch pulls out of line in 4th. That breaks Chastain off the back bumper of Kyle Larson. Eric Jones is out front by a car length, but will Larson's run last? Here they come racing to the tri-oval.
And Kurt Busch is in the middle lane. They're crashing behind him. Kurt Busch hard into the outside wall. Bubba Wallace into the wall, steaming to the line. Ross Chastain will win the Geico 500. Ross Chastain avoided a couple of crashes coming to the line. He picks up the win in the Geico 500. Kurt Busch rocketed up the racetrack in the middle of the tri-oval, made hard contact with the outside safer barrier, collected Bubba Wallace, who also made heavy impact with the outside safer wall. Either way, Ross Chastain has picked up his 2nd career NASCAR Cup Series win. Let's go to pit road.
High fives all around the entire crew down here. You talk about an eruption of celebration. Travis Mack and the crew, actually no, it's Ty Norris is down here as well. They are having a good time with this one here. You held his line through the whole way. They told him on the radio to hold that line, work your way through it, and find your way there, and that's what they did. Ross Chastain, Phil Surgeon, and the crew, they are going to victory lane at Talladega.
Career win number 2 for Ross Chastain. He comes across the line, and it was wild. Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, and Martin Truex Jr. He finished 5th. Where in the world did Eric Jones finish? He led him all the way to the tri-oval. Eric Jones comes home in 6th position. Today, it belongs to Ross Chastain.
New message.